Hi, this is Glenn, and welcome to the Dads on Mission weekly video that I post here, hoping to benefit guys like me, dads who are fulfilling the Great Commission amidst the daily life of family and work and all these obligations, men who are called to the ministry in order to do a work for God. I'm a church planter in Jackson, Tennessee, and so I'm hoping to share things that I learned in this journey as I try to navigate life with my family and with the people that we serve. And so I'm very glad to be with you today. And the title of my video today is Managing for a Moment. I also have a post on it up at my blog. It's glenngoff.com. I was speaking on the phone with one of our sisters in the Lord, a lady actually that we met while ministering in downtown Jackson, Tennessee, who now attends our mother church and is committed to helping us in establishing our daughter work. I was speaking to this sister on the phone. We had a service a couple of Sundays ago, and I was led to speak in that service under the unction of the Holy Ghost. And it was something that as I spoke with this sister about, I confided in her that I wasn't really sure at the moment before I'd done it if I should speak up or not, if the timing was right. And she assured me that what I said spoke to her and that it was a timely word. And she gave me what I thought was most important, and that was that if I had let that moment pass, that it may not have had the same impact it would if I had not been obedient. And so it struck me at that moment, how important a moment can be, and how we must seize moments. And it's not always easy to do that when we're distracted, when we're afraid a moment may not be just right, or when we are going about our day the way things were planned, we might miss out on a moment. I read just the other night a book by Jeff Goins, and I posted a review of it on Amazon.com. His book is titled The In-Between, Embracing the Tension Between Now and the Next Big Thing. I really enjoyed the book, and it was a great representation from the life of the author of how we should value the moments in the downtime, in the waiting periods of life. We spend more time waiting than just about anything else we can do. And Jeff Goins told the story of studying abroad, and while he was abroad, he was out in Seville, Spain, during an evening, and he passed by a man who was a beggar on the street corner, and at first neglected to help that man going about his evening, but he felt the urge to go back to that man and ended up taking him to a McDonald's where he bought him food and spent some time getting to know him, learning about his life. And Jeff describes how it became a pivotal point in his journey abroad, but also a reminder of why he wrote the book, and that is we can rush by so fast and overlook people and overlook opportunities and miss out on moments that matter. And something that struck me as I read the book, and I was already planning to do this video, a quote from the book that Jeff gives us after he had this experience was, "I no longer avoided interruptions, I planned for them." So my question is, do we plan for the interruptions of daily life that might yield moments that we would not want to pass up? And so managing for a moment, or managing to experience the moments in our lives, to me mean that we need to value availability over attendance. It's not enough just to be present. We have to be attentive and we have to be available. And so being at home for me is not always the same as being available. And so in order to maximize the moments that might come up in my life with my family, I have to be not only in attendance, but I have to be available. And it's true for each one of us. To manage for the moments of life, I feel like we must value flexibility over rigidity. And so it's with tasks, it's our task-driven orientation to be efficient with our time, but with the people, we should not strive to be efficient, but to be effective. Effective in learning of them, in fact, effective in them knowing us, letting them know our heart and who we are, so that we can build our relationships is very important. Flexibility over rigidity. And thirdly, I believe that we have to value opportunity over order. The grind is always going to be there. There's always going to be deadlines to meet, tasks to perform, and planning is very important. I don't discourage that at all. But I do think that we need to have our eyes open to opportunities and recognize their value for what it is, so that we don't stick so tightly to order, so that we're not so obsessive about things being a certain way that we don't take time out to experience the opportunities that God sends our way. Opportunities to reach out to someone who's hurting, to speak a word, to be present in a time of hurting. All these are very important, and we can miss out on them. And so that is the video for this week, Managing for a Moment. And do go check out the blog at glenngoff.com. There's an extra link there. If you look at the Managing for Moments post, that goes to an audio podcast that is especially for ministers. I taught it to a young minister class just this morning, and I hope that blesses you if you're someone who's active in the ministry. Thank you once again for joining me. God bless you, and I hope you have a great week.